Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure?
It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the office. I am feeling fantastic this morning. I hope you are too. I got up this morning finally. I've been struggling over the past couple of days, but got up this morning. We're starting to work on the Tales of Rabavania script because I had problems because I had 10 pages and it was just no good. Well, I was working this morning and finally I was getting some good stuff going in the right direction, things like that. So I was working this morning and excited about that story in a way I have not been excited about it in a while, in several weeks. And so that's just got me on a high. I'm looking forward to getting back to working on it. I'm hoping, I want to talk to Cameron about it again, but I'm hoping that he can give me a little bit more time to work on it before he sees it again, because of the delay, I'm a little bit behind on where I'm still behind on where I thought I'd be, but I want to be sure that everything is perfect before he sees it. So this was supposed to be World Building Wednesday. Generally, Wednesday is World Building Wednesday, but because of that, I was also trying to revise the World Primer, but I'm not quite ready. I haven't made enough progress, I think, to do another World Building Wednesday. So I was like, you know what? I'm feeling really happy today anyway, and I have been trying to look at this. This has been sitting over there on the shelf for a while now. I've been looking at it, and I have not opened it up because I wanted to wait until I was with everybody on the live stream. And so this is the Introduction to Dungeons and Dragons box set, AD&D, Introduction to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And so we're going to look at it today. I played this quite a bit, so this was definitely something that I used right here. And so kind of a blast from the past. Everybody can enjoy it together. So let's see who all is here. We got the whole crew here. James is here, one of the channel members. Thank you so much, James, as well as Zero the Blade and Joseph Carter. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Stargate Bind. I know I got an email from you, Stargate. I will get to that. Robert, good morning. And Sable Phoenix is here. Tomocrat, oh, good to see you this morning. Good to see you. Andrew, wonderful. Zero Theory, wonderful. Excellent. So the gang is all here. It is great to see you this morning. Another thing that did happen this morning, actually about 30 minutes before I went live, is that the printer sent me confirmation that they accepted my new digital files for the interior for Goodnight Sword here. So I got that confirmation that it was accepted. And so what I've done is I went ahead and ordered a new proof of Goodnight Sword. So hopefully that was going to be right. Hopefully I learned everything I need to learn so we can continue to go more smoothly. So new proof of that has been ordered. And I'm actually thinking might just have to go ahead with Goodnight Sword, maybe on Kickstarter or some kind of crowdfunding, something like that, because we got to move forward here. They get to move different products out and books out that are being written. And even if the RPG stuff isn't right, you know what, isn't ready yet, Goodnight Sword just might be. It might be time to go ahead and get Goodnight Sword. It's long past time to have Goodnight Sword out and actually be physical copies and things like that, because it would be fun. I want to take a copy of that and deliver them to some libraries and things like that as well. So, all right. So all of that's going on. I'm feeling great. I hope you're feeling great as I am. Let's go to the messages for just a second, and then we'll get over here and we'll unbox the introduction box over here. This month, there are several things going on Ravenkeep.net. First, War of Kings is the game of conquest, kingdom building, and strategy that my brother and I developed. It's Catan meets Risk, but there are only 5 boxes of War of Kings remaining, and the game won't be reprinted. Also, Enchantress, the game of wizardly combat, also designed by my brother and me, is on Ravenkeep.net, but there are just 6 copies of that game left, and it will also not be reprinted. So if you'd like either of these games for your table, please pick up one from the website now. If you've been enjoying what I'm doing here on the channel, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking that join button. Your support is so important, and this month, we have a special offer for all of the channel members. If you join, you'll get a $7.99 discount on all of the custom mugs from Ravenkeep.net, Cultist Coffee, Witch's Brew, or Fish Do Not Drink Tea. Once you've joined the channel, just check the members only post on the YouTube channel's community tab for the discount code. Remember, all orders from the website of $99 or more ship free, but I can only ship to the United States. And thank you for being here with me live on The Morning Grind. And if you're watching on replay, welcome to you as well. It's great to have you here. If you're enjoying The Morning Grind, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. It will really help the channel grow, and I would be very thankful. We also have the Ravenkeep Discord server you can join if you would like to be a part of the community. All right, that's what you need to know. Let's get to the main topic. All right. Hey, cereal works. Have some breakfast. Works great. Hey, Jason, good to see you. So, all right, let's, the thing I was going to say, I was working on yesterday. We were talking about yesterday getting some of the other shows going. They're supposed to be going, but there's like a few things I have to do in order to get the shows going for board game streaming and then also potential RPG streaming. So I was working on that, getting the digital assets ready. Excuse me. Yesterday afternoon, I got inspired to do that. I was like, all right, what am I going to have to do in order to get this show on the road? Are these shows on the road? And I wanted to go ahead and create the digital assets for both. The RPG stream would take a little bit more effort because that requires coordinating more people. But this, the board gaming one could be solo. There's solo games that I want to do. And in fact, I was planning on doing some solo Hero Quest. But like, for instance, I was trying to move those games out of this part of the house and like moving that in there. But I was like, okay, that's one of the things that's hanging this up. Is that, you know, my lights and my camera and my computer and stuff like that are all set up here. So you know what? This is going to be right here. So get the digital assets done. The cooking part, I'm still trying to figure out how to do the cooking part of dinner and a board game. It may just be having some dinner. We're going to see. I think that's an important part of it. The board game should be associated with some type of dinner and some type of snack or meal or something like that. The RPGs not so much. I think we just play the RPGs. That's a separate show. So I did start working on the digital assets and was having a great time with that yesterday. So that's coming. That's coming. All right. So let's go ahead and do our sip together. Everybody got your beverage this morning. I got my beverage this morning. So two deep inhales, full exhales, and then take a sip. So here we go. All right, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, you know, it became difficult to eat on screen the way we did dinner and a board game for season 1. We tried that. I think in episode 1, the first pilot, we did actually come back to the table and eat. But now the problem is, but we decided that slowed the show down, so we didn't do that again. But the additional problem, the problem here is that if in order to do a dinner and a board game show, I have to go in and cook something and shoot and edit a cooking sequence, probably means that show isn't going to get done as fast as I would like. It'd be much easier if it were just a live stream. And so we'll just have to see how to incorporate food or something like that into it. We'll see. But important thing is getting it done. All right, let's bring up the auxiliary camera. Go, auxiliary camera. So here we are. Move the microphone. So when did this? I wonder if this has a date on it. Probably, I'm sure it does inside. $20. 1995. Okay, so this is 1995 right here. And this, we can compare it to what was inside. We kind of thought that the existing 5th edition stuff was kind of thin. But the interesting thing, or actually we thought it was very thin. But the interesting thing is it's the same size box. That is the same size box from 1995 to today. So same size box, but you got a lot more stuff. It says, from the moment you open this box, you've taken your first step to play the world's greatest adventure game, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And this is the one that includes an interactive CD. This is the one that came with a CD. There might have been a couple of them. I remember Glandry did, but this was the intro box that came with them. A little hard to make the most appropriate thing for a fantasy game, a good stew and some fresh bread. Yeah, especially like to have it ready at the live stream. So that's why, so the logistics of that, still working on it. So, okay, so everything the first time player needs: introduction to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Imagine you have entered a fantasy realm with monsters, treasures, and daring deeds to be done. Play a heroic fighter or cunning wizard. Explore old castles and chart the depths of mysterious dungeons. The Advanced Dungeons and Dragons game has no limits. Your character can do anything you can imagine. An interactive audio CD, guides you through the adventure. This is the easiest and fastest way to learn Advanced Dungeons and Dragons game. The audio CD is complete with digital sound effects, music, and adventures. So crank up your boombox, people, and dive into a real adventure with the introduction to Dungeons and Dragons game. Your first quest is in your hands. So this came with a Dungeon Master's guide and screen with adventures, monstrous manual, monsters and creatures, and monsters and treasure in full color, 6 plastic character miniatures, 7 adventure dice, 6 hero cards, 1 for each character. Player's handbook has basic rules, expanded rules, and spells, as well as this interactive audio CD here with over 60 minutes of digital sound. I mean, I remember this being quite a thing and being quite excited. Did anybody play this one? Robert says, interesting, this is so like the original D&D box set, but for AD&D. Now, Perpetual Stew. Now, that could be. All right, let's see what's inside. Okay, so here is the introduction audio CD. Now, I did see that it was on YouTube. So, yeah, oh wow, all 60 minutes of digital sound. Yeah, an audio CD. I looked up this on YouTube, and I did find that the tracks are on YouTube, because the crazy thing is I can't even play this. I don't have any way in this house that I am aware of to play a CD. Isn't that crazy? I have no way to play it, but it seems like it's already been ripped and put on YouTube so you can listen to it. And we did. I listened to just a few minutes of it before the stream, and we might put some of it on. But I remember the voices. I remember all of that. Man, a lot of memories came back as I was hearing the voices again. So I like that. I actually wish it had kind of been done more. Now we do have dice here, and we've got dice percentile. No, wait, does this? No, it has the 0. Orange D20. I remember those a lot. We didn't play with them because I had my own dice by that time, like better looking dice. But I remember those dice. Now, the miniatures we got here. We have seen these before. Oh, it's got a broken axe. We have seen these before. Can we get it to, maybe we got too much light here? Let's see. Because these were used in Dragon Strike, and I'm not sure which one came first, but these are the Dragon Strike miniatures. At least some of them are. For each one of these. So the elf, that one is also in Dragon Strike, so it was reused. So this is the elf in Dragon Strike. The cleric, I played with the cleric quite a bit. So I used this guy, but the cleric was not in Dragon Strike. So that's a new hero that's not in Dragon Strike. And if I recall correctly, here's the thief, but there was a female thief in Dragon Strike. I have to look over there. I get confused on remembering, because this is what the thief looked like in Dragon Strike. This pose for the male thief, but there was a female thief in Dragon Strike that wasn't all that great. I didn't think her pose was all that great. This is a much more classic kind of thief pose with the cape up and the dagger. Dwarf, that is the Dragon Strike dwarf. Warrior right here, that is the Dragon Strike warrior, and that is the Dragon Strike wizard as well. Well, they are color coded. I think that's what they do. Like, I don't remember the color coding being in this box set, but like Dragon Strike used color coding. So these are probably color coded in the same way that Dragon Strike is. I wonder if that's the case. I don't remember if the D12 was yellow or not, but the D10 was white in Dragon Strike. The D8 was definitely blue, because they were color coding that in Dragon Strike. I like that Pathfinder 2 comes with color-coded dice. Yeah, Pathfinder 2 did do that. Yeah, I don't think that this was quite as strong as what Pathfinder has done. Thor says, that's crazy, but understandable. I have a combo player for records, tapes, and CDs, but come to think of it, about the only player still around. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, that's just melted away. But that's another thing, that if you don't care about, information hangs around forever. But on the other hand, if you don't care about it, then it doesn't, right? It only hangs around if you care about it and you're upgrading it and stuff like that. Now, other people have, because like I said, it's available on YouTube now, so people have ripped it. Jason says, I do not remember the box, but I know I had those minis at some point. Yeah, those minis aren't too bad. Slap a coat of paint on them. Yeah, I think they're perfectly serviceable. And I do need to paint the Dragon Strike. Maybe we'll just have to see how. We wanted to play some Dragon Strike, so maybe that's one of the things we can do on the live streaming. Yeah, computers just don't come with physical media drives anymore. That's my issue. At one time I tried to get some type of drive for some CDs, and it was like low quality, and it ate the CDs, and I had to tear it apart to get it open. So, okay, so in here we got characters, and these are some classic characters. Monstrous manual. There is our GM screen. Oh man, I remember that GM screen. That got used quite a bit. Map, Dungeon Master's Guide, Player's Handbook. So I played Lordan the Pure. I remember that one. I played Lordan the Pure. That was one of I don't know if it was the first cleric I played, but I played a lot of clerics. And I remember him having a dexterity of 9. I remember that. He flubbed that a couple of times. He does have a wisdom of 15. I probably flubbed a wisdom check or two. But so movement, it says movement 12, because I think this is more about spaces than, because we're going to have this map here and we got miniatures here. But we got levels 1 to 3. We've got a general saving throw. I'll pull this up here. We just have a general saving throw. And then we have Thaco. Look, Thaco is here. So Thaco 20 at levels 1 to 3, and then 4 to 6. Oh, so this went to 4 to 6. 18. Damage 1d6 plus 1 with a mace. Armor class 7. Isn't that weird? Anybody who has just been familiar with 5th edition? Like, what is this? Thaco, 20. Armor class 7. Like, how does that work, right? Hit points 8. And then a cleric. Number of spells. First level spells. No, the orisons. No 0 level spells right here. So 3 first level spells at first level. 4 at second level, and then you start to get third level spells at second. But I say I really like these pre-generated characters, and this is also the size of the character sheet that I like. It's got the art on it as well, but I mean that's what you need to play. I like that, and you hand it out, and it also gives so general rules. 1 round is equal to 1 minute. In 1 round, you can move 120 feet, make an attack, cast 1 spell, move 60 feet, and make an attack. Try 1 unusual action. Let's go over here. Yeah. As long as it's not a cheap one, like I said, the one I had was eating my CDs. Stargate Mind says, I've collected over 1,000 D&D PDFs like many others before they vanish, LOL. Yeah. That's keeping it alive. Nice map. It is a nice map. We're going to take a look at that. We'll open that up. Now, Jason says, now I want this box set. There is so much nostalgia in this box set. The adventures were great. I mean, it was so much fun. No, this was not the set that I used. No, this is not the actual set. I have no idea what happened to my set. I want to say it was gone before even the Great Purge. But I found this set cheap for some reason, and I was like, oh my god, that's one that has to be added back into the collection. So that's why I did. Tomocrat says, I hated Thaco. I kept forgetting the 0 value. Thacos are delicious. Yeah, I needed those character sheets that come with the Thaco bars. So what does it say as our general rules? We were just saying. So cleric general rules. How to attack. Roll a 20-sided die. Subtract the die roll from your Thaco. If that number is less, here's how you're supposed to do it. Roll a 20-sided die. Subtract the die roll from your Thaco. If that number is less than or equal to the monster's armor class, your attack hit it. Right? So, all right. So my Thaco is 20. Where is this pouch of dice? Is sealed up. Where are my dice? Let's go to the Doom Edition brand of Cthulhu dice. So, okay, here's the monster manual. So we'll take a look at it. Okay, Gray Ooze, armor class 8. So I'm supposed to roll the die and subtract the roll from my Thaco. From my Thaco, yeah. So 20 minus 15 is 5. If that is less than or equal to the monster's armor class, like a black bear has an armor class of 7, that means I would have hit the black bear. But that's I don't remember ever doing it that way. I remember having I remember I remember that's not how we calculated Thaco. I don't think that's ever how we did it. So I want to say that, okay, if you've got AC, if you've got Thaco 20 and that bear has AC 5, if there's something with an AC 5, you're subtracting the AC from your Thaco. So that would mean you'd need a 15. 20 minus 5, 15. You need a 15 to hit. So, but that should be the same thing. If you need a 15 to hit, so 11, 20 minus 11 would be 9. So if you were trying to hit a Thaco 5 creature, an AC 5 creature, you would not have hit. But I think it's easier. I think, actually, come to think of it, I think I remember that being a weird explanation. I think that Tomocrat says, I rolled and asked my brother for the results. As Carl says, as straightforward as a tax return form. I think even during the time when we were playing, I said this is a weird way to do it, because we always take your Thaco and subtract the AC from it, and then that's what you got to roll to hit. So that should work, because you were trying to roll high. Like, you try to roll high with your D20, so it was roll high, because Thaco is, as Stargate Mind is reminding us, especially for people who don't know, Stargate Mind is saying to hit armor class 0. That's what Thaco is, to hit armor class 0. So that's telling, and so armor class 0 is good, right? So if you have an armor class of 0, this guy's got an armor class of 7 because he has leather armor and a shield. So probably leather armor on its own was 8. And then because you have a shield, you go to 7. So you wanted the lowest possible armor class you could, because the armor class is the number you're going to subtract from that Thaco. That's why the Thaco is to hit armor class 0. So if your opponent has an armor class of 0, that's a really good armor class, then you would subtract 0 from your Thaco. So if you are fighting, and you'd have to roll a 20 in this case. So if you're fighting an armor class 0 creature, my Thaco is 20, I have to roll a 20. Otherwise, I'm subtracting the armor class from my Thaco, and I have to roll over that. I mean, that makes sense to me. This is what they thought of. This is what they thought of back then. And that also makes it easy that if you're always subtracting armor class, negative armor classes are good, or even better. I mean, I got positive armor classes here, but even better than an armor class of 0 would be a negative armor class. So if you're subtracting a negative number, you're of course adding the number. So if you actually have an armor class of -2, then it would be 20 plus 2. I'd have to roll a 22. And you may have always hit on a 20. I don't remember, but that's making it more difficult to hit. And then as you go up in level, your Thaco is going down. And fighters, their Thaco would go down at every level. But the cleric doesn't do that. Cleric has to stay at Thaco 20 for levels 1 to 3. Man, this is some nostalgia, is it not? This is some serious nostalgia. I remember at Thaco, AC roll over at 2. Thaco minus, Carl says, Thaco minus AC roll over at 2. Mathematically the same result, less twisted. Yeah, to me, that is a very twisted way to describe that. And I probably did have discussions about that. They're like, okay, wait a minute. That's a weird way to describe it. Roll the 20-sided dice, subtract the die roll from your Thaco. If that number is less than or equal to the monster's armor class, your attack hit it. Like, surely that's not how it described it in the AD&D book. We could go get it out later. But okay, to hit AC 0 is 20, so to hit AC 5 is 15 or better. Exactly. Come on, everyone is good at doing math with negative numbers. What's your problem? It is. Or you could just say, instead of AC 5, make it AC 15, and then you have your target number baked in. But some reason they wanted to keep that AC lower is better idea. AC is lower is better. And so, because you don't have, you're not rolling a bonus. Your Thaco is not about a bonus. It's about what number you're subtracting the AC from. Right. And then I think the best possible armor class was AC -10. So the best possible might have been -10. And I remember in the GoldenEye game that one of the awards you could get in that GoldenEye game was the AC -10 award. And that was for, I suppose, if you went the entire, like I remember it being awarded in player-to-player combat. And that some players would get the AC -10 awards. And of course, my friends are much better at playing video games than I was, so they would get that. But that was, such a great party game. And that I remember that one of my friends was taking it over to his church, like when they would do lock-ins or something like that. So he would play it at church, and he would take the whatever that was. It was the N64, I guess it was. I don't think I had one of those, but he did. So he'd take the N64, and they'd be playing GoldenEye at church. And then he said, "Yeah, I got the AC -10 award at church." And they all asked, like, nobody knew what it was. And we're trying to figure out what AC -10 was. And he was like, but since I was at church, I couldn't tell them because we're still down here in the South, not when you talk about Dungeons and Dragons at church. AC 0 then is AC 20 now. Yeah. Yeah. So Robert says, because if you have an AC of 0, that would be like having an AC 20 in 5th edition. Yeah. Robert says, so to hit AC -5, you needed hit modifiers of at least +5. Right. So if you had a Thaco of 15 and you were attacking something that was, oh my God, AC -5, then you'd have to hit that 20. Carl says, I'd love to see how they explain bonuses and penalties. Yeah, common to see higher level characters with AC negative, with like -5 AC. If you think of it by percentage, okay, let's see what this starts. Let's just all right. Let's take this and convert it to percentages. Let's see what Sable Phoenix says. If you think of it by percentage rather than standard addition, it makes more sense. If you have someone with AC 5, your Thaco to hit them is 25%. Oh, hey, Vision. Good to see you. Welcome, Vision. Who thought Thaco was a good idea? It's the one thing they all drop when they do OSR games. Well, it's like, we talked about like a unified action resolution system and how much I think that's an improvement in gaming. Thaco is its own thing. I mean, that's how you figure out whether or not you're hitting something in combat. You don't use that mechanic in anything else. It's just your mechanic to hit, right? So it's one of those things that system is also not like, okay, once you get the system figured out, that's going to be your unified action resolution mechanic for everything else. No, it's not. That's just that's just how you determine whether or not you hit something in combat. AD&D is subtract AC from Thaco, roll over. Player's Handbook, page 19. Okay. That makes much more sense. That makes so much more sense. This was a weird way to describe it. I don't know. It's mathematically the same, but it's a weird way to describe it. So thank you, Carl, for checking on that. James says, we're having every conversation about Thaco that has ever taken place right here, right now. Yeah, we really are. That is. And a lot of them do. Yeah, you do see tables. Yeah, I mean, a lot on this. Okay, so let's see. So then it says, if the attack hits, roll the die for damage. Subtract the damage from the monster's hit points. A monster is dead when it hit points reaches 0. To make a saving throw, roll a 20-sided die. If the die roll is the same or larger than the saving throw number, your saving throw is successful. Look at the spell description to see what happens if you succeed or fail. So in this game, we just have one thing that is a saving throw. So at 1 to 13, it's 15. I'm trying to roll 15 or better. At levels 4 to 6, it's 14. I'm trying to roll 14 or better. Each level, you can cast more spells. You can turn undead better and add 1d8 to your hit points. Experience points. Your character earns experience points for defeating monsters and doing clever things. When a character gets enough experience points, they gain a level. The number of points needed is shown on the table on the other side. So yeah, we do have an experience point table right here. Limits. You can only use a club, mace, or quarterstaff for weapons. Casting spells. The table on the other side shows you how many spells you can take on an adventure. The higher your level, the more spells you can take. Each day, you can change your spells and get back any you have cast. Pick your spells from the cleric spell book. Write them down on a separate sheet of paper. As you cast the spell, cross it off. You can take the same spell more than once, so you can cast it more than once a day. For example, at first level, you could pick Cure Light Wounds, and Detect Evil for your daily spells. Turning undead. Roll a 20-sided die. If the die roll is greater than or equal to the number on the table, the undead must leave. A T indicates the monsters are turned automatically. If there is more than one undead creature present, the one roll works for all of them. So here is turning undead with the cleric. First level, roll that or higher. Oh, monster versus cleric level right there. So there is your turning right there. Okay. See, we've got here. I mean, this was a great starting set of characters, I thought, and still do. Really, they're extremely iconic, which I think is what you want for your characters. And I mean, it's on a card. I mean, I love this. So Lordan the Pure, Slinker is our thief here. And you can see here that here's, starting equipment, but thieves' skills right here. Here is thieves' skills, and then character level, and it's a percentage. So at your first level, you can pick pockets at 30%. So you're trying to roll equal to or less than that on a percentile. Again, no unified action resolution mechanic. So Slinker can move silently 15% of the time. Only 15% of the time at level 1. He's got 6 hit points. Now you see his Thaco, his saving throw doesn't change at levels 1 through 4. That's over here. Oh, he's also Wisdom 9. Attack. But here's the saving throw. +4 attack bonus to backstab. And his Thaco is 20 at 1 through 2. 3 and 4, it goes down to 19. And at level 5, it becomes 18. So each level, your thieves' skills get better. Oh, okay. Because this is just telling you what they are at different levels. First level, second level, third level, fourth level. So Slinker we got. Devlar Iron Fist. This one got played. I mean, I think all of these got played. Any idea who did the character art? At least some of this has some Elmore inspiration. Does this say? I mean, clearly it does. And to me, these are also some extremely iconic, the art here. We'll look for that. I don't see it on the cards. But he got played. You think the cleric is Jeff Easley? Okay, could be. Sable Phoenix. Yeah, so this is not it. This is the box set that has the solo adventure where you meet Lena and then Bargle kills her. No, I don't remember that. So Carl is confirming that. So Devlar, he is our fighter, our dwarven fighter. So there you go. You can see that his Thaco goes down every single level from 20 to 16. Now, again, in the core AD&D book, there are a lot more different kinds of saving throws. This one just has saving throw in general. So that's him. Morgoth the Mysterious. Like, look at that. Again, extremely classic wizard art. Strength 8. See, level 1 through 5, he stays at Thaco 20. And the thing about that, you may have noticed, is that every single character at level 1 starts at Thaco 20. That means that Morganth the Mysterious, at level 1, fights exactly as well as a fighter. Now, he has less hit points. He's got 4 hit points. Classic D4 hit points. He got all 4 of them. The fighter is going to get better at fighting much more rapidly because he's going to go down in Thaco every level. But at level 1, as far as hitting something with a stick or a sword, both Morganth and Devlar are equally good. Now, Devlar has higher, or rather lower, has a lower armor class. Because Morganth is armor class 10, robes no armor. So if you're Thaco 20 and you're trying to hit him, then you just got to roll a 10 or better. And he gets only 1 first level spell, right? See, check this out. So Lordan here. Lordan gets 3 cleric spells at first level. But our lowly wizard over here gets 1 first level spell. 4 hit points, no armor, and 1 first level spell. Can never wear armor. Can only use daggers and quarterstaff for weapons. The table on the other side shows how many spells you can take with you on the adventure. The higher your level, the more spells you can take. Each day you can change your spells and get back any that you've cast. Pick your spells from the wizard spell book. Write them down on a separate sheet of paper. As you cast the spell, cross it off. You can take the same spell more than once, if you have more than 1 slot. For example, as a 2nd level wizard, you could pick Magic Missile twice to be your daily spells. Beldar the Brave. I know a friend of mine played him quite a bit. So, I mean, these got used. Is that a Kender near the wizard? Could be. I've never thought about it. Could be. Hang on. No strength bonuses or penalties to hit? I guess not according to this. You get 1 magic missile, and then you whip out the dagger. Yep. So Beldar here, strength 17, wisdom 8. Not very great on the wisdom. Thaco, again, going down. So we got... Devlar, what's their difference here? Well, okay, so now we got maybe on damage over here, perhaps. Beldar has 18 plus 1 longsword damage. Devlar just does D8 battle axe damage. Oh, and this does say, no, it says +1. +1 for strength right here. So it's giving him a +1 to his damage because of strength. He's wearing mail and has a shield. He has 10 hit points. Okay, so Devlar does have more hit points, though. He's got 12 because of a +2 bonus for Constitution. And then Silverleaf Half Moon. Again, another character that got played. Fighter Wizard. So Silverleaf Half Moon is a fighter wizard. So he's our... Is this dual classed? Thaco with bow. Damage 1d8, 1d6 with quarterstaff, 1d8 with arrow. Armor class 10, robes, no armor. So there you go, a level 1 fighter wizard. I love those guys. It could just be a halfling. Yeah. Jason says, the low number of spell slots is the one thing that I have always disliked about low-level wizards and magic users. I've always felt that they should have some sort of magic-based attack or something besides. That's the eternal debate on magic users, is it not? Okay, so they factored in the dex bonus with the Thaco list. They may have. That's probably what they did. We've been fighting this battle one way or the other. One way and then the other. It seems like eternally throughout all these editions. Okay, so what do we got here? Let's take a look. Well, okay, so here is our GM screen, and this was on the table quite a bit. Introduction to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons screen. That one got used. And it's telling you, let's see, what's on the inside. I mean, there's a lot of empty space here, but very iconic imagery here. I remember, I guess I must have sat behind this one quite a bit. Ability checks. Dungeon Master chooses which ability makes the most sense to check against. Player rolls a 20-sided die. If the number is less than or equal to the ability score, the action works. You're not worried about bonuses here. You're just talking about, well, make a check equal to or lower, roll low with the check. We do have some information on swimming here. Falling 1d6 per 10 feet. Poison 15 points of damage. Poison is just flat 15 points of damage. Poison takes 1d20 plus 10 rounds to take effect. How to run a battle. The Dungeon Master secretly decides what the monster will do. Players take turns saying out loud what their characters are going to try to do. Roll initiative. Whichever side won initiative rolls all of its attacks. Whichever side lost initiative rolls all of its attacks. Repeat these 5 steps until the battle is over. Saving throws. See, DM, secret doors. DM rolls D6 for each character. On a 1, the secret door is found. Elves find secret doors on a 1 or a 2. Each 20 feet of wall takes the character 10 rounds to search. Each character can only search a wall once. Turning undead. Backstabbing. So we saw that Slinker could backstab. Monster must be shaped like a person. Thief must attack from behind, get surprised, use a dagger or short sword. Thief gets +2 bonus on attack, +4 bonus on attack roll, and ×2 normal damage. Nethril's Tower. For 1,000 gold pieces, the wizard will tell the characters what a magical item is. The wizard will accept another magical item as payment instead of 1,000 gold pieces. Thief skills down here. Stuff that happens at Lathander's temple. Oh, I remember that. So we got this over here. Heal hit points, 100 gold pieces. Cure poison, 250 gold pieces. Or cure disease, 250. Remove a curse, 500. Raise a dead character, 1,000 gold pieces per level. Elves cannot be raised. Being raised from the dead lowers a character's constitution by 1 point. The temple will also accept one permanent magic item as payment. Foxworth will make change. Exchange 10 copper pieces for a silver piece or 10 silver pieces for a copper piece. He will accept gems instead of coins. Here's how much gems are worth. So that's that. Yeah. Turns used to go a lot faster in earlier editions, so it was less onerous if you used up your spells and then pulled out the crossbow to plink away afterwards. Sable Phoenix, yeah, elves can't be raised. I did kind of too. Elves can't be raised. I forgot about that. Yeah, elves can't be raised. There's the real racism in D&D. 1,000 GP per level, Zero Theory asks. I wonder how the priests assess that. I believe this priest assesses that. I think is what was supposed to be. He looks like a 4,000 GP job for you guys. So we did come with this. So this is just the town. So this is what happens in the town. And okay, the town of Freedale. The Tower of the High Wizard Nethril. This is where the player characters can sell magic items or get them analyzed by the wizard Nethril. Probably that right there. Yeah, number 1 right there. West Wind Stables, Sethel the Scribe, Temple of Lathander. This is where the players can get healed by Farish the Priest. Foxworth the Moneylender, Terran the Elf Lord. Evening Star Inn, the General Store. This is where the player characters can buy equipment from the dwarf Gart Stone Nose, Orebreaker the Dwarven Blacksmith, Fendrick's Fine Foods, Cordak the Leather Worker, the Watchguard Barracks, and the Red Dragon Tavern. So that's Freedale. I do remember Freedale. The town of Freedale. Let's see. What to next? Let's take a look at this. I'm not going to have all the room to add it here, but I remember. I remember playing in this. Okay, so this is, God, bringing back memories. The tomb of Damara. So we've got a castle-like area here, and I do remember this. I remember the other side even more particularly, but we got like a castle here that we're going through. Oh, here's our portcullis. That must be the entrance. So we've got the castle here, and then you go from there into natural caverns, I guess, behind it. God, this does make me want to play this. This makes me want to play this again. The other side is, this was a haunted house. One of the other adventures was the house. Okay. I'll tear this up. But the house on Harrow Hill. So this was a haunted house adventure. And I remember having a lot of fun with it. So it's like a haunted mansion or something like that. That's in here. I mean, this is so much better. This is so much better than the 5th edition starter boxes. I mean, this was something. I mean, this is a nice set that has a lot of fun in it. So, man, so that's that. Wasn't this box set, Joseph asks, also available as a double wide, more board gamey looking box? Not that I'm aware of. Jason says, if I ever run this, I'm totally going to play Foxworth the Moneylender as the comedian Jeff Foxworthy. So yeah, so then we got in here the player's handbook. So let's take a look at what it tells you. See, it's even set up. Like, look at the this is formatted like the revised rule books, revised 2nd edition rule books. God, I like that. Nice. So, introduction to what D&D is. Okay, so here's our table of contents. So what's in here? Contents, introduction. So like, what is this about? What is role-playing about? Player characters, what the scores mean, character classes, human, elves, and dwarves. What's next? The rules, the basic rules, dice, time in the round, moving, fighting, casting spells, finding and removing traps, equipment, character level and experience points, expanded rules, the role of the GM, ability checks, finding secret doors, moving, surprise, dangers, death, cleric powers, thieves powers, alignment, and then creating a character. So creating a character is in here, and then wizard spells and cleric spells are in here. Let's see. Cover art, Jeff Easley. So, okay, so cover art here, yes. So this says that cover art is Jeff Easley. Interior art by Bruce Eagle, Jeff Easley, Paul Jacques. Is that related to the Jacques Seeing a Dungeon? Walter Vels and Robin Wood. Art coordinator Peggy Cooper. So player characters. Rules. Man, to me, this is such a classic look, because I always played out of the revised AD&D books. That's why I got those reprints. Oh, is that what is going on? People are telling redneck Kinder jokes in chat. My work here is done. I like it. time and movement. So how to attack, fighting, order of fighting, attack roll, damage, casting spells, finding and removing traps. Several thief skills have a % chance of working depending on a thief's level. Most of these are discussed in the expanded rules sections. The most common thing thieves do is to find and remove traps. Thieves have a chance to find traps on doors and halls, on treasure chests, among other things. When a thief wants to search for traps, the DM rolls percentile dice secretly and sees that the number rolled is equal to or less than the thief's find remove traps number found in the front of the character card. And it was also on the Game Master screen. Once the trap is found, the thief can try to remove it. The same find remove traps number is used to attempt to remove the trap. Thieves can make this roll themselves. If it works, the trap is gone. If not, the trap is still there. The thief is not able to get rid of it, but did not set it off either. Equipment, character levels, and expanded rules. Okay, so character level and experience points. Then we get into expanded rules. The role of the DM, ability checks. For example, Beldar the Brave is trying to knock down a locked door. He has a strength of 17. If he rolls a 17 or less on the 20-sided die, the door flies off its hinges and there is a huge crash. The Dungeon Master can always give out bonuses or penalties to the ability check. In the example above, if the door were made of iron, the DM might say that Beldar has a -4 penalty. This means the door is really hard to knock down. Beldar now has to roll 13 or less on the 20-side die to knock the door down. Moving, dangers, death. Okay, characters. Okay, so here is our rule on death. Characters do not die when they run out of hit points, at least not until they have lost 10 more hit points below 0. So this is death at -10. -10 hit points. Until then, the characters are unconscious. Clerics can cure characters back up above 0 hit points, but they remain unconscious for the rest of the day while on adventure. Okay, so clerics can cure characters back up to 0 hit points, but they remain unconscious for the rest of the day while on an adventure. Back in town, in between adventures, characters can always spend the necessary time to heal up completely before their next adventure. For example, Slinker is wounded to -7 hit points. He is unconscious. His cleric friend, Lordan the Pure, casts him back to 2 hit points, but Slinker is still unconscious the rest of the day. Oh no, wait a minute. Clerics, I missed a word up here. Clerics can cure characters back up above 0 hit points, but they remain unconscious for the rest of the day while on an adventure. Boy, I don't remember that. I'm pretty sure that the character jumped back up, but that's even more hard in our games. But that might not have been the case. I don't remember. It just seems like if you got cured above it, then the character would continue play. But it does say here that even if you're cured above 0 hit points, okay, you're not dying, but you're going to remain unconscious, which means you are out of the adventure, at least for a while. For example, Slinker is wounded to -7 hit points, as we were saying. He is unconscious. His cleric friend, Lordan the Pure, cures him back to 2 hit points, but Slinker is still unconscious the rest of the day. If the whole group of characters has to come to the end of the adventure, its members can carry Slinker back to town. When they go on their next adventure, Slinker is automatically healed up completely. If the group chooses to continue this adventure carrying the unconscious Slinker, he will wake up on the next morning with 2 hit points, and Lordan will have to use a Cure Light Wound spell to help him out more. Sometimes a character dies. When heroes face dangerous monsters or cruel traps, things like that can happen. A player with a dead character has 2 options. The character's first option is to start a new character. The second option is to persuade the other players to have their characters take his or her character's body back to town. The temple will use magic to bring the character back. The temple will use magic to bring back the character for 1,000 gold pieces per character level. The character loses 1 point of constitution. Characters can be raised from the dead until their constitution reaches 0. Characters raised from the dead so many times their constitution is 6 or lower lose 1 hit point permanently each time they are raised. For example, Beldar the Brave has a constitution of 7. because he's been raised from the dead many times. How did he start off with? Beldar the Brave started with a constitution of 14. So now Beldar only has a constitution of 7 and 10 hit points. He dies again. If the temple brings him back again, oh man, it's you again? Here we go again. His constitution will be 6 and he will have 9 hit points. His hit points will not go above 9 until he gains another level. So 0 or below, you are unconscious, but also out. I mean, you're out until, as the adventure is going here. And then -10 or below, dead. Zero the Blade says, so this is, are you headed over to eBay to check this out? I bet it's not cheap on eBay. Some of the box, I wish I had more of the box sets, but they are not. And you know what? Now be careful. I will say, if you're looking for stuff on eBay, I bought the wrong thing. Oh, hold on. Something is sitting on it. Just be aware. That I was trying to get the rod of 7 parts. And look what it sent me. I was trying to get the rod of 7 parts, and actually this is a reprint. So it's here, but I guess whatever I was, but no, I want the freaking box set, the rod of 7 parts, not a reprint. I mean, it's great people are doing this, but just be aware, because who knows? You might see it and somebody not actually buying what you want, so be aware. James says, if you reach 0 HP, you aren't dead, you're unconscious. Unless you're an elf, then you're dead. No resurrections. No, wait. So, no, I think the elf still doesn't die until -10. I think as the elf, you still have to go to -10 before you die. But if you die, you cannot be brought back. So a level 1 dude got resurrected 7 times. That's 7,000 gold pieces. That guy must have frequent flyer miles with the Angel of Death. I wonder at what point you stick a do not revive note in your pocket. I can't afford it anymore. Yeah, he's joking. That was a joke. James. All right. So, yeah. Okay. So, cleric's powers. That's the turning undead, our table right there. Thieves' power. I remember this one too. Look at the expressions on their face when they're turning these skeletons. The expression on the elf's face and on the cleric's face too. So the thieves' powers are pickpockets, open locks, find, remove traps, move silently, hide in shadows, and climb walls. Only a thief can climb walls without a rope. The other characters must have a rope. But the thief does start pretty good at climbing walls. I mean, most things he's not. Pickpockets, 30%. Open locks, 25%. Find, remove traps, 20%. Move silently, 15%. Hide in shadows, 10%. But climb walls, 85%. I guess they couldn't. I guess since climbing the wall means you fall off, they weren't going to be like, all right, I guess the thief can also have, a 15% chance of climbing that wall. Otherwise, it'd be falling off all the time and taking falling damage, which would be brutal. So we do have character creation here. So here, now, so yes, it does. Okay, so here it must have been figuring that in, because here I do have ability tables here. So strength has a hit adjustment and a damage adjustment. Now those are not the same. So you'll notice. Let me see how I show this table. Strength right here. So, like, if you have a strength of 16, you do not get a hit adjustment, but you do get a damage adjustment. So, dexterity, you have missile attack adjustment and defense adjustment. So, missile attack adjustment, you don't get those until you start at levels as dex of 16. 16 plus 1, 17 plus 2, 18 plus 2. Defense adjustment does kick in at 15. So, I mean, when we were looking at that, yeah, I mean, I guess we're used to with 5th edition now, the modifications coming in a lot earlier, but they really didn't here. I mean, strength 8 to 15 doesn't get you a hit adjustment or a damage adjustment. Like, that doesn't do anything for you. Dexterity over here, dexterity of 7 to 14. I guess the lower one doesn't penalize you either, but dexterity 7 to 14 doesn't get you anything. Constitution 7 to 14 doesn't get you anything. You do get a hit point adjustment starting at 15. You're going to have a con of 15 to get a +1. 16 is +2. And then 17 and 18 is +2, +3, +4. I'm not sure what that means. Let's go look that up. Constitution. Hit point adjustment is a penalty or bonus to the character's starting hit point rolls. Only warriors receive the highest bonus for Constitution of 17 or above. Other characters only receive +2 bonus hit points. Okay. I was wondering if it was going to be something like that. So if you're a warrior, which is a class that's broader, or a group that's broader than just fighter, then you would get +3 hit points at 17 and +4 at 18. But everybody else is still just getting +2. And then wisdom, I guess that's getting you bonus spells. Yep. So wisdom, there are extra spells, a cleric, and only a cleric. Yeah, this is for a cleric. So that's probably why Lordan has so many. Because didn't he have he had a high wisdom, like you would expect for a cleric. He had a wisdom of 15, which gets you 2 first and 1 second. Let's see. It says these spells are available only if the character could normally cast spells of that level. In other words, a first level priest with an 18 wisdom gains 2 bonus first level spells, but doesn't gain any other spells until he reaches a higher level. How is it telling you to generate these? First, roll ability scores, choose a race, choose a class, roll hit points, roll starting money, and buy equipment. All players have 6 ability scores: strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Each ability is rated from 3 to 18, with 10 or 11 being about average. An 18 ability score is really good. A character is very strong or very smart or very wise. A character with a 3 ability score is far below normal and must work hard to overcome his unusually low score. To roll up your character's ability scores, roll 3d6. This will give you a number between 3 and 18. Do this 6 times and then match 1 ability score, each score with each ability in any order you like on your paper. So they're not making you do 3d6 straight down. There is 3d6. You're rolling 3d6 here, but you're 3d6 and then choose. It doesn't give me anything for intelligence here. It just talks about strength, dexterity, constitution, and wisdom. Ability racial requirements. So here's your elves and dwarves do have some advantages. Okay, so player character races. Let's go over here. Warrior, thank you. Fighter, ranger, and paladin. So fighter might be the only one here in this intro set, but fighter, ranger, and paladin are warriors. Yeah, by default. Okay, so that's what it is. So I was wondering, why does they get so many spells? Well, it's because the clerics only get 1 spell at level 1 by default, but his stats bring him up. John, best version of AD&D, John says. Zero Theory says, what's the turning undead rules? I remember they were always weird and not synergistic with the rest. Oh, we can take a look at that. There's the talking about. Bless you and your continued contribution of 1,000 per level. We can always count on your support again and again and again. Okay, so actually the turning undead rules. Okay, so we'll read that. Question about it, so let's read it. So clerics have the power to turn undead. This means they tell an undead monster or group of monsters to go away, and it does. The monster can come back and attack again, but has to wait. The monster can come back and attack again, but it has to wait at least an hour. A cleric can try to turn undead monsters or group of monsters no more than once each hour. Turning undead monsters takes an action just like fighting or casting a spell. So here again is our cleric's level, and we've got different types of monsters for the purposes of this intro. Skeleton, zombie, ghoul, shadow, and white, all increasingly difficult to turn. So it says, to turn undead, the player rolls a 20-sided die and looks to the number on the table above. The table is also on the cleric's character card and the GM screen. If the die roll is equal to or greater than the number on the table, the undead monster is turned. If there is more than one type of undead present, look at one roll for both monsters. A T result means that monster is monster automatically runs away. So example, Tamara the True, a second-level cleric, meets some ghouls. After fighting them for 2 rounds, she decides to try to turn them. She rolls the 20-sided die and gets a 14. The ghouls all run away since the die was higher than the 13. So ghoul is probably 13 over here. She's a second level. Yep, ghoul is 13 in order to turn. The ghouls all run away. Okay, if the roll had been less than 13, Tamara would not have turned the ghouls. 2 hours later, she runs into the ghouls again. Since it's been more than an hour since she first turned them, she can try to turn them again. If she had run away from the ghouls because she failed to turn them the first time, she could also try again now. So that's what we got. Sable Phoenix, regarding the character stats, this actually makes more sense than just a base +1 every 2 numbers. Otherwise, why even have the base numbers? Just use the mods. I know. I hear you. I hear you. Because nothing happens on what, the even numbers or something like that. Yeah, I agree. If you're going to have those, then dividing it up and making different things happen on different numbers does make a lot more sense. So you get the scores first, but then it is letting you choose where you put the scores. But it's 3d6 straight. It's not 3d6 straight down. It's just 3d6. Choose where they go. So the second step of creating a character for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons is to choose a race for your hero. If you're trying to roll up a character for the first time, stick with a human hero. They're easier. When you become familiar with the rules, you can try an elf or a dwarf. Before you choose a race for your character, check the racial ability requirements table to see if your character qualifies. You got to qualify for your race. The scores you rolled for your character must fit within the ranges shown before your character can become an elf or a dwarf. The number before the slash is the minimum score, and the number after it is the maximum allowed. For example, your character must have at least an 11 constitution in order to be a dwarf, and your dwarf's dexterity cannot be greater than a 17. Note that any character may be a human. So here is, we're maxing out. 18 is the max for any elf. Okay, you can have a 3 elf with a 3 strength, but you can't have an elf with a dexterity of less than 6, and it won't let you play an elf with an intelligence of less than 8, or a charisma less than 8. For the dwarf, your constitution can't be below 11. So if the dwarf can't be any less than 8 strength, is a maximum of 17 dexterity, minimum of 11 constitution, and then maxing out charisma at 17. So you're not getting any kind of bonus. I mean, here's a different way to do it, because that, like, the idea of racial bonuses to certain stats are kind of going by the wayside, right? In like 5th edition. So your race isn't giving you a modifier to any of your statistics. If you want to play that race, you got to make sure that your stats fit within that race's abilities. Elves and dwarves have some advantages and disadvantages that humans do not. These differences apply in the game as bonuses and penalties to ability scores. Oh wait, no, this goes as a bonus. So that is happening. Oh yeah, we're about to have a racial adjustment. Okay, after that, we're about to have a racial adjustment. For example, since elf characters are very nimble, they gain a bonus to their dexterity scores. But since they're fragile, they suffer a penalty to constitution. Now, I do remember that. So I do remember all of that. So we do have racial ability adjustments right here. Dwarf is +1 constitution, -1 charisma. Elf is +1 dexterity, -1 constitution. And man, that is also something that was very controversial around my table. or our table when we were playing, that we always said that that should be elf -1 strength, but the elf is -1 constitution. Note that dwarves are extremely magic resistant and have had a great deal of difficulty using wizardly magic. Because of this, they cannot become wizards. If you rolled up a character with good intelligence score and you wanted him to be a wizard, make sure you don't choose dwarf as your character race. Also note, because no dwarven wizards. Also note that a character card for the elf provided in this game shows that Silverleaf Halfmoon is a multi-class character. You cannot create a character exactly like Silverleaf using these rules. He's a special type of character that can only be created using the full AD&D character creation rules. If you would like to find out how to make a character like Silverleaf, check out the AD&D Player's Handbook. So I guess my question then is that I suppose that racial bonus and penalty comes after you've made sure that you've assigned all of your stats to make sure that you can't assign anything that doesn't violate these rules, and then you apply those stats? I guess so. So it says dwarves also. Because dwarves are such tough creatures who hate magic, they gain a bonus to all their saving throws, magic and poison. And we just have one saving throw in this. This bonus is based on their constitution score and is shown on the table below. So dwarven saving throw bonus based on the constitution, which goes down as long as you have a constitution of over 3. So 4 to 6, you get a +1 bonus on your saving throws. Whereas elves are famous for their skill with sword and bows. They gain a +1 to hit as they attack when they attack with a long sword, short bow, or bow. Elves can also see in the dark up to 60 feet away. When alone, more than 90 feet away from friends, an elf forces any monster to suffer a -4 to their chance of being surprised. This will not work if the elf is wearing any metal armor. Elves are also very good at noticing hidden things and can detect a secret door on a roll of 1 or 2 instead of a d6. Keith has welcome, Keith. So yeah, second edition, AD&D second edition, dated 1989. Genetic frequency. Pick 6 genetic traits from any combination of any humanoid species. I think that's the future of character creation or something modular like that. Carl says, yes, racial modifications are played later. The limits are so you don't go above or below a certain range after the mods. Ah, okay. So you might see dwarf. So dwarf, you can't have more than a 17 dex. Oh, no, wait. Dwarf. 18. So character classes, we got fighters here. Fighter, let's see, character class requirements. Fighter has to have a strength of 9, wizard an intelligence of 9, cleric a wisdom of 9, and thief a dex of 9. Other than that, you're good. Rolling hit points. Starting equipment and money. Oh, and then we go into the spell book. So wizard spell table. So first level, it gives you charm person, detect magic, enlarge, reduce, feather fall, hold portal, identify, light, magic missile, read magic, shield, shocking grasp, sleep. Second level, it gives you darkness, detect evil, detect good, detect invisibility, flaming sphere, invisibility, knock, lock, levitate, magic mouth, magic mouse, mirror image, stinking cloud, web, wizard's lock, and so forth. How do you get your spells? Pick spells. Wizards may cast magic spells according to the table below. The table shows how many spells the wizard can take on an adventure. Each day, the wizard can change his spells and get back any that he cast. Pick the spells from the wizard spell section of this book. A wizard can cast a spell that he's picked for that day. He loses the spell, but you can take it more than once. Okay. I guess that's similar with the cleric. Yeah, it's strange that we don't have bonus point. Was that a thing in AD&D? Did High Wisdom not get a wizard any kind of bonus spells? I mean, it's not here, but it said, don't forget that the wizard gets bonus spells for high wisdom. But it does not say that about the wizard. So the rest of this is spells. And cleric spells. Bless, first level, it's bless, curse, combine, cure light wounds / cause light wounds, detect evil / detect good, because this is when you could reverse spells, I guess. Detect magic, endure heat, endure cold, light, darkness, protection from evil, protection from good, purify food and water, remove fear. So yeah, if we go over to cause, to cure light wounds, it says this is ranged touch, instant, creature touched. The cleric restores 1d8 hit points to the creature he or she touches. The spell does not stop poison, cure diseases, or cure other magical illnesses. It will cure the damage caused by poison. The reverse of this spell, cause light wounds, does 1d8 points of damage to the creature touched. The cleric must make a successful attack roll to touch the target. Boom. Wisdom should apply to clerics. Right. Wisdom applies to, did I say it wrong? High int. See, that's what I thought, but it's not in here. Wisdom should apply to clerics, not wisdoms, right? Yeah. Oh, Carl says no, it doesn't. Let me see what my book says. Where is, actually, I don't know where my player's handbook went. I got books stacked up everywhere. Yeah, I'm not sure where my revised AD&D book is. Carl's probably checking. So Carl says int capture maximum spell level. Int capture maximum spell level and the maximum spells per level. Okay. I knew there had to be something with it. So that's a cap on, where did my book go? Normally I try to pick my books up after all of these shows. But that one is not here. The player's handbook? Oh, well. Okay. I knew there had to be something. Okay, so int, yeah, they capture maximum spell level and the maximum spells per level. Number of languages, Carl is saying, number of languages, I do remember that too now. Number of languages, spell level, chance to learn spell, max spell per level, and illusion immunity. So there we go. No bonus spells for the wizard. So, okay. Of course, we're not going to look at this because this is more of the advanced rules for the Dungeon Master was over here. But over here, we've got mainly the adventures. So about adventures, the Dungeon Master, how does the DM win? I'm the DM, what do I do? Being a good Dungeon Master, setting up, using the adventures, using the CDs, special messages, monster summaries, the story of the adventures, leaving and coming back, experience points, the town. And then over here, we've got the Tomb of Dharma, the Town of Freedale, the Ghost of Harrow Hill, and Under Mount Dread. The adventures. So using the CD, this game includes a special aid to help you learn and run the first role-playing adventures, the Introduction to AD&D Game CD. This CD begins with an introduction to role-playing. It also contains tracks of adventure dialogue combined with special sound effects to help you run the beginning of this book. Shaded boxes, like the ones below, tell you the encounter uses the CD. The number is the CD track used. When you reach the symbol, play the track number shown. When the track is finished, you will hear a bell-like tone to remind you to stop the CD. So that's how this is going. Sometimes you'll be asked to pause the CD when your players react to what they've heard. This is pause. This is marked by the pause symbol. The text will tell you exactly what words to push pause after. Push the pause button again when you're told to resume the CD. After you play a track, remember to stop the CD so it does not continue to play on to the next track. We got read aloud, decision, important, search, trap, monster summaries, the story of the adventures. Okay, so actually there was a lot. But okay, so then we go into, this is the book. Okay, so for DMs only. So Tomb of Dharma, Town of Friedel, and then the Ghost of Harrow Hill. I don't remember. Under Mount Dread. This adventure is used after you finish the first two, the Tomb of Dharma and the Ghost of Harrow Hill. It's important to play those first, since this adventure gives you more to do as the dungeon master. In these first two adventures, you've learned the basics of role-playing and how to be a good DM. Now it's time to try something a little more ambitious. It's time for you to go alone. So I guess this gives you some... Yeah, it didn't give you that map. Seems like it would give you that map. Level 2 dungeon. And then keep going. Robert says wizards needed 16 int for 8th level spells and 18 int for 9th level spells. Well, that some has gone by the wayside, hasn't it? You don't have the if you don't have enough intelligence, you can't even learn the highest level spells. So technically, those are bonus spells with high intelligence that come much later. Yeah, I had forgotten that. Probably never played a wizard to that high level where it mattered anyway. But anyway, let's just flip through this really quickly. This is the... oh, my light went out. Let me see if I can get it going again. There we go. So we have the introduction to the Monstrous Manual, and it's also formatted a lot like the revised D&D box. So what type of monsters do we have in here? Are we going to be fighting here? Ant, giant warrior and worker, giant bat, black bear and brown bear, beetle, giant fire beetle, bugbear, classic bugbear, carrion crawler, megalo centipede, ancient copper dragon, dragon hatchling red, very classic there, the Dugar dwarf, drow elf, gargoyle, gelatinous cube, genie, ghoul, gnoll, gnome, very classic gnome picture here. Goblin. I don't know about that goblin. Gray ooze, hobgoblin, kobold, lamassu, lizard man, myconoid fungus man, ogre, orc, also the classic second edition revised orc, piercer, giant rat, large scorpion, the shadow. Kept seeing that one come up in the undead. Skeleton, snake, constrictor, snake poisonous, snake giant poisonous. Large spider, giant trapdoor spider, sprite, toad giant, white wolf zombie, juju zombie. Oh, and then magic items as well in here. Treasure types. So you got your treasure types and how to roll for treasure and magic items as well. Staves, wands, rings, potions. So that's in here as well. I think this is a great box. Oh, the whole internet went out? All right. I think this is a great box. Lots of memories in it. And lots of great stuff to play. I mean, there's a lot of, like I said, the new second edition or new 5th edition stuff has been so thin. But this, I mean, that was a great box to have. $20 in $1995. I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and going through this. James says, fantastic box. Fantastic Box. Maybe we'll get to play it. Man, like I said, I need to get the other streams going, the other shows going. I got to do that. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, everybody. So we will be talking about Blood and Doom, which is on Kickstarter tomorrow. And I may even be talking with the creators tomorrow night with Blood and Doom. So that's nice on Kickstarter. So we will check that out. But in the meantime, this has been a long one, but that's fine. I really enjoyed that. I've been having a great day this morning. This was a fantastic time going through this. I really enjoyed doing this with you. So, all right, everybody, have a great day. Be productive, be creative, and I will see you in the morning.